Yo, what's up, everybody? Michael A. Benton here. Want to talk to you guys about some books that I had started reading as it helped me progress towards my life of self-development, becoming a better me, becoming a better father, better husband, the whole gamut. And I wanted to share those with you as you venture through your journey, and hopefully these will help you as they help me. If you're new to the channel, again, my name is Michael A. Benton. I'm a certified life coach, empowering men to live a life of fulfillment in every aspect of their lives. So I suggest you hit that subscribe button. All right, so the first book, not necessarily the first book that I ever read, but the one I'm going to start with is The Alchemist. The Alchemist was a really good book, man. It was a short read. It wasn't too long. Basically, if you haven't read it, it's about a boy named Santiago who is a shepherd, and he wants to go on this quest or adventure or journey to find treasure. And so he does that. I'm not going to spoil it for you, although it's a really good book. And as much as I want to, I'll kind of give you an overview. Basically, he makes his way, he travels his way, and he meets people along the way, and he comes in contact with omens. And if you're not familiar with an omen is, it's basically the soul of the universe telling you, giving you signs of good things and bad things. And so he comes up against these omens, and he meets adversity, and I won't spoil it for you. But essentially what I took from the book was, no matter what, always follow your heart, and always follow your desires, and what motivated you or what got you to the point to take action. And another thing too is listen to the omens, listen to the signs. If, for example, if you are ever interested in becoming a life coach, and you had those thoughts going around in your head, and then let's just say one day out of the blue, you see, I don't know, an ad for becoming a life coach, right? Or you see some type of message comes to you asking if you want to be a life coach. It's just those signs where like, and I know you've had them before in your life, but it's just paying attention to those signs that will really just allow you to follow your heart, follow your intuition, and give you some reinforcement that you're not alone in this journey, and that the universe is looking out for you. And really, that's kind of a whole part of the law of attraction and manifestation. But follow your heart, listen to the omens, and you'll be good. So that's book number one. All right, and so book number two is As a Man Thinketh. I'm not gonna lie, like this was a hard ass read. Like, it took me a couple times to really understand the book itself. And I listen to all my books on Audible because it's easy for me. I can listen to it when I'm on a drive on my way to work or whatever. It just gives me a lot more time, and I can process it a lot better than having a book in my hand. But again, it's a hard read. Most reviews that you see or that you hear about this book, they're like, didn't really understand it, blah, blah, blah. But it had a good meaning though. Like it really did have a good meaning. Basically what the book was saying is that the powers lies within your thoughts. So the life that you want essentially starts with your positive thinking and the things that you think within your mind. And if you think negative things, then you're going to get negative reactions. You're going to get negative things brought back to you. And so it's always thinking positive, and your thoughts is what fuels and empowers the things that you want in your life. And so that's the huge takeaway from the book. Like I said, you can certainly try and read it for yourself. I actually encourage you to read it for yourself because you may have a different interpretation, or you may be able to understand the book right away on the first read. But for me, man, yeah, it took me a couple times. But again, great overall message. Yeah. All right. Third book was Cant Hurt Me by David Goggins. Okay. So this book, again, read on Audible or listened to on Audible. You want to talk about a guy who's been through some shit? Okay, so David Goggins is actually a former Navy SEAL. And if you know anything about Navy SEALs, they're like the elite of the elite, like the badasses of the world, right? And so when you think of a Navy SEAL, you think of them as unbreakable. Nothing can touch them. They can do anything. Yeah. And so this guy definitely fit the script when it comes to that. But through his whole book and the process and his journey, basically, he had a rough upbringing. His dad really wasn't the greatest role model, and then he was fat, he was overweight, and so basically he, through his journey, finds himself getting away from that type of life and really wanting to test himself and be the best version that he can. And eventually he joins the Navy SEALs, and man, he goes through some shit along the way that would break the average person right away. I mean, this guy talks about all the physical pain that he endured, the mental pain that he endured, running on broken legs and finishing all these tough mans and all these runs and these miles that he does and these endurance races that he does, a shit ton of endurance races. And again, he's running on broken legs, and he's vomiting, he's shitting on himself, but he pushes himself through it and he completes them all. And so the biggest thing that I took away from this book was just that you are your own worst enemy. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that anyone can say to stop you from doing what you want to do. Like, you just put your mind to it and you do it. And you fight through the pain no matter how bad it hurts, because the outcome is what you're really after. That's what you really want. And that propels you to keep going no matter how much pain you're in, because you want the outcome. And David Goggins went through some shit because he really wanted to be a SEAL. He really wanted to test how far his body and his mind could go. And once he started breaking a lot of these barriers, I mean, he was just amazed at how far his mind could go, and he wanted to keep going. And that's why he got into endurance races while he was a SEAL and even afterwards. So that's a book you definitely got to either read in person or listen to on Audible, but definitely a good book. All right. Book number 4 is Jump by Steve Harvey. Now, this was, I believe, either the first or second book that I've read as I started moving towards self-development and really just bettering myself. This was a really good book. Easy to read, wasn't too long, and it just hit on all cylinders as far as exactly how I was feeling and what I wanted to do, what my fear was, and basically the book is solely based on you just taking the jump, taking the leap, taking the faith, and just moving into whatever area you want to move into. So if you want to start a business, jump in. You just got to jump in and do it, right? If you want to start a bakery, whatever your gift is, you just got to take that leap. You just got to take that risk for yourself. And the message that I got from that book is just believe in yourself. You're the only person that could shun your dreams. You're also the only person that could propel your dreams into reality. And so you just got to take that jump, man. And just like what I did, when I was having my meltdowns and back before I started this whole journey, I worked like 8 jobs, in the past 8 years, brand new jobs, just kept getting, finding myself getting job after job after job. And I finally got to a point where I was just like fed up with the life, and I was fed up with how I was living and how things were going. And that's when I started to jump into self-development. And that's when I knew I wanted to, own a business and kind of be out there, being on my own. And I just had to jump. I was fearful because I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what direction to take, but I just knew I had to take action. And so I jumped into it, not only for life coaching, but I jumped into it for self-development, kind of trying to better myself for myself and my family, and things are working out. So this is definitely a read that you must put on your list to get you going. Definitely a good book. All right, and the final book, drum roll please. It is The Path Made Clear by Oprah Winfrey. this, I believe, was the first book that I read. And this was really good because this was at a point in time in my life when I was searching for my purpose, trying to understand what it is I was meant to do on this earth, because I was lost. I had no clue as to what I was really meant to provide back to society, and really just, I don't know, I didn't know what I was supposed to contribute. And so when I was searching for purpose, somehow I found this on the internet. And again, another book that I read through Audible, really, really great book. Basically, Oprah, she interviews a lot of successful people in any industry, musicians and psychologists and doctors and therapists and just the whole gamut of people. And what she tries to do is understand at what point in their lives, or was there a certain moment in their lives that they knew they were destined to be where they are, as far as who they are, what profession they were, what they were in, what they were actually doing for a living. And, everyone gave their own different kind of circumstances and different opinions as to what it was or how they came about knowing what their purpose was. But again, a great book. The overall kind of take on the book is this, that once you find out, basically you want to find out what your purpose is right away, and then you want to do everything you can to move towards that. You know what I mean? So once you start to understand what it is that you want to do everything in your power to move towards that, to make that reality, to make that real, to make that the life that you want. And that was a really good book, man. It was really good. It was kind of a long read, but it wasn't too bad. The content was great. And it was really nice to hear all of these different people and how they became who they are, and so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, so those are my 5 books that I recommend you read as you move in the direction that you're going, which is self-development, becoming a better you. Obviously, there are a shit ton of other books that out there that are just as good, but these are the 5 that I personally read that, again, gave me great insight into different aspects. Out of all of these books, I should actually say in totality with these 5 books, the things that I understood the most was that belief. You got to believe in yourself. Thoughts, your mind is in control. And if you don't get your mind under control, it's going to control you in a negative way. So your thoughts are super powerful. Thinking positive things, the language that you speak to yourself has to be positive. The people that you surround yourself with, the things that you spend the most time with, as far as the type of music that you're listening to, the type of the magazines that you're reading, like everything, whatever you're consuming, that all plays a factor as far as your thoughts. So make sure that you're consuming positive content. But again, man, all these were great books. Definitely would recommend reading all 5. If you guys have any books that you have read that I haven't mentioned, I would love to take a look. So please put that in the comments, and I'll be sure to grab that on Audible if it's available. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed those 5 books and my review, kind of my little overview on those 5 books. If you like what you heard, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I release a new video every Tuesday. And as always, you guys be safe out there, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.